You're buying supplies for the little one. Nappies, bum cream, formula. Formula? Well, most moms introduce it sooner or later. Manufacturers encourage its purchase, toting all the extra goodies it contains. It's almost a no-brainer. You want to provide your little one with the best nutritional start possible. But inside many tins of formula, there lurks a vixen, one that is seldom mentioned, or when she is, she's frequently painted as an asset, a protector. But this picture is not entirely accurate. Join us for this episode of Better Body Chemistry TV as we discover what this foxy lady really gets up to. Better Body Chemistry TV is brought to you by Dr. Sandy, a scientist turned gremlin buster, helping you battle sugar gremlins, heifer lumps, and other health horribles through better body chemistry. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health. Soy-based formulas come loaded with isoflavones. They go by the names of dietine and genistein. These exotic plant ladies belong to a class of compounds known as the phytoestrogens. They're biologically active. This means when they're consumed, they change human physiology. In the case of the phytoestrogens, they're mimicking the great lady hormone estrogen, who plays a critical role in a lady's physiology, controlling her curves, her moods, her health. Estrogen is a grown-up hormone. Her arrival marks the commencement of puberty. Feeding your little one a soy-based formula on a routine basis is exposing your little one to more estrogen than Mother Nature intended. This is what a group of researchers from the Clinical Mass Spectroscopy Center in Cincinnati discovered nearly 20 years ago when they tested the blood samples from babies being fed soy-based formula. The researchers began their study with a shopping spree for formula. They selected 4 tins of soy-based formula and took them back to the lab to quantify how much phytoestrogen each tin contained. All contained substantial amounts of phytoestrogens. There were differences between the brands. Isoflavone levels ranged from 32 to 47 milligrams per liter. These differences reflect the slight differences in the processing of the product by the different manufacturers, as well as the source of the soybeans. The reason plants produce isoflavones and things is, in the first place, is to protect themselves from bad guys. Exactly how much of a particular chemical is produced depends on the conditions the plant is growing in. So, a 4-month-old infant probably consumes between 800 and 1,000 milliliters of formula a day, which means baby is consuming 35 to 50 milligrams of isoflavones per day. Babies are pretty small. To factor this into the equation, the researchers calculated approximately how much a baby would be consuming based on body weight. This comes to 6.9 milligrams per kilogram body weight per day. It doesn't look like much. So what is the fuss about? Well, the idea that phytoestrogens have health benefits is based on the observation that cultures that eat soy-based foods have better health, particularly lower risks of breast cancer. Japanese ladies following a traditional diet eat around 8 to 11 grams per day to get these health benefits. A 4-month-old being fed a soy-based formula is actually consuming around 56 grams of the stuff a day. Aish. This is 5 to 10 times more. But what goes in doesn't always go in. This is Pharmacology 101. Just because you eat a chemical doesn't always mean the chemical ends up inside of your body. Our bodies have a very sophisticated chemical clearing house. Some chemicals get in, some just pass straight through. So the team decided to look a little deeper. A bold move, because few moms or ethics committees will allow perfectly healthy babies to be subject to multiple blood draws. Ouch! Lucky for us, a few moms agreed to allow researchers to draw a single blood sample. The testing revealed breastfed infants had blood levels of 4.7 micrograms per liter. Infants fed cow milk-based formula had blood levels of 9.3 micrograms per liter. Infants fed soy-based formula had blood levels of 552 to 1,775 micrograms per liter. The average was 980 micrograms per liter. This is an astronomical amount. Levels in adults are typically 40 to 240 micrograms per liter after a soy-based meal, which only happens every now and again, not at every feeding. The levels of the chemicals were actually a little higher than anticipated. This is not totally unexpected. That sophisticated detoxification system I mentioned earlier is still coming online. So babies often metabolize chemicals a little differently from adults. This data suggests babies are not as efficient at processing the isoflavones that they consume. Bottom line, a baby being fed soy-based formula is being exposed to 13,000 to 22,000 times more estrogen than normal at a time when the brain and the body is still developing. Phytoestrogens might come from plants, but they are still estrogens. You don't have to be a biology whiz to get that exposing your baby to excessively high levels of estrogen at a time when estrogen levels are not meant to be high is probably not a health move. So err on the side of caution. If you're using formula, make sure it is not a soy-based product. That way, you will create better body chemistry in your little one. Interested in discovering more ways to create better body chemistry so you optimize your health and the health of your family? Visit our website at www.betterbodychemistry.com. Browse our library or enroll in one of our free e-courses. The advice is simple to follow and based on real science, not hype. Know a new mom or about to be mom? Share this video with them so they understand the implications of using a soy-based formula. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you catch future episodes of Better Body Chemistry TV. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health.